how great is it that you're leaving family, but then can join another family, and a family of sisters who are the same exact thing. And like you said, to just unapologetically be yourself, that's
yes,
awesome, because that's when the most transformation happens, is during these years.
right.
So
I think the other part about young women, so what would I tell a young woman entering college about a sorority, right? The good thing about Black sororities, you have to have a GPA before you join, right? So it's critical and essential not to forget your friends and your sisters you make when you come onto that campus. Because like my best friend is not Greek, right? And another friend went through a different sorority, and another friend was I went to a predominantly white institution, was in a white sorority. And the friendship and the sisterhood we shared as women transcended that Greekness. So it's important to be wise about the friends you make, and value the people who value you. And if you happen to get in a sorority, great. And if you don't, those women and those friendships and those sisterhoods are deeper than letters. Because I think, to your point, people get into it for different reasons. And I'm like, but a young girl going to, my very best friend, I mean, she tried to get in the sorority and it didn't happen for her, but I would fight for her harder than anybody else in the paint, right? I mean, just because that's my sister.
Yes.
And so young girls need to be careful, and they may get into catty, not young girls, but young women, they may get into catty situations, and you get into catty situations in the sorority, right? But how do you transcend it?
Right.
It's not always, I mean, your family's not always bubbles and happiness and
right. You go through trials and tribulations. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, just be careful with that whole Greek thing.
Yes.
Like, hold on now. No, I totally get that.
Right? I'm like, huh?
Renee, like I try to tell my daughters, in this day and age, my daughter's best friend, she's in the Army and she's in Texas and she's here, and she's always like, I'm so sad I can, I said, listen, Renee and I have been best friends since I was 10 years old. Okay. And we didn't have FaceTime, Facebook. We old school, write a letter, put a stamp on it, and and your parents at that time wasn't having you being on the phone for hours because you didn't have call waiting. So
and long distance wasn't free.
Right, exactly.
You're not gonna run up that phone bill.
Right.
When you make a connection like that with a sister, it is something that is amazing, and I wish that for all of our viewers, that they're able to find that, because I just can't imagine my life without my circle of friends, without my sisterhood. They definitely make life better. They make it easier and possible to just function.
Yes. So. And you always have somebody to reach out to.
When you have that circle, go ahead. I was gonna say the same thing.
Go ahead,
when you have that circle and you can reach out to them, and you can cry on the phone with them, you can laugh on the phone with them, you can have these moments where you can be, like you said, Lisa, unapologetically yourself. You don't have to hide who you are to make them like you more. You can be like, this is me. You're either going to accept it or not. And your sisters will be like, we got you.
You can be the most vulnerable with your sisterhood. Definitely.
We were preparing for this vlog yesterday, just trying to figure out what we were going to do. And I was having the most technical issues ever, to the point where by the time I finally got on, I was crying and stuff. And I was just like, it's okay. That's what we're here for and everything, So, it doesn't always have to be a big thing, because everyone is different. So different things affect you differently. But just that little bit of support in that moment, I needed it when I didn't even realize that I needed it. And that's what is so beautiful about a sisterhood.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've always had a lot of friends in my circle, and they've always been that sisterhood. I've met in college, I've met in high school, I've even met, in middle school, and I still have all these friends. Grad school, yes. And, I've always been able to, even because we're such a tight sisterhood, me and my different relationships with different friends, I've always been able to bring all my friends together, like to do different things. And, it's always been a successful thing because we're a sisterhood and we all have shared that commonality. which I said in the beginning, that mutual respect for each other.
That's a testament to the friend circle. I mean, the sister circle, because there are friends who may be a little bit, there could be different levels. Your sisterhood circle may be tighter, and then there's a friend circle, right?
Right.
So that sisterhood circle may be a group, and they will organically click because of you, their energy. I mean, versus, a friend may be the one who's a little bit on the edge, who's with their face turned up, right? And that's okay, but you have to understand the difference between the two as well.
Yes.
And you don't love them less because there's a difference, but they may need different things.
Right.
So there's a conversation to be had about friendship as well, and sisterhood, because they're not the same. Right. I think people mix them up, but I think there can be different, and that's okay. It's okay to be different.
Right.
And to feed into a friend different than you may support a sister,
Yes. So I have a question for you ladies. So our target audience is ages 13 to 22. So what advice would you give how they can be supportive and how they can be encouraging to their peers, whether they're going into college, whether they're just entering high school, middle school, because our age group runs between 13 and 22. How can we share with them how they can be supportive and encouraging with all that, they may be going through personally as well?
I would say that famous New York phrase, if you see something, say something. So Renee and I met in grad school, and we didn't really know each other. We had classes together. We'd say hi and bye. But I would hear people talking about Renee. Renee would come to the class with her heels, and she would say hi to everybody, but they'd be like, she thinks she's all that. She thinks she's this. And I was like, you know what? One, I'm going to get to know her. And two, I'm going to stick up for this woman who I don't really know, but I know that she's not what they say she is.
Thank you,
and so I said to them, you're welcome, sister friend. And so, I was like, do you know her? Has she? Well, no, but she thinks she's all that. I'm like, what makes you think she thinks she's all that? And they didn't have an answer. It's like, stand up, support your fellow sister. And I sat down with Renee in class one day and we started talking. I was like, she's really cool. I like her. And she's not what they say she is. So don't always listen to what people say. Get to know the person.
Right.
Stand up for them. You might be the only person that stood up for that person that day, that week, but you might get a great friend out of putting yourself out there and saying, she's not even like that. You don't really even know her. So I would say support someone, not just when they're standing next to you and they can hear you support them, but when they can't support themselves. Renee wasn't hearing what they were saying about her, and she would never have known if I hadn't said, hey, don't listen to them, that's what they're saying. So I would just say, see something, say something.
You never know what somebody is going through. And sometimes we make assumptions. You look at somebody, like we look at Daisha. We all know Daisha, but that's the sweetest person you could ever meet. Daisha will give you the shirt off her back. But because she's so quiet and reserved, people would make assumptions, something like that. One thing that I like about my daughter that she does is she doesn't get caught up in that. If she feels like, she'll smile, she'll say good morning to someone, she will compliment a complete stranger. And I've seen it over and over again,
That's
how
amazing.
that one smile, that one good morning, that one compliment just lights up a person's day. So I think that sometimes we just need to extend ourselves more, because we never know what another person is going through. And just in that extension of a smile or of a good morning or a compliment, that in itself can open the doors for something that can go a long way. So I would start off with something as simple as a hello or good morning, or girl, I like your heels, or your hair is fly, or whatever it is that you want to say. Go ahead and say it. That may be the first compliment that this young lady has heard in all year. You never know. So that's what I would say.
I guess, what would I say? I would say, the biblical reference, treat others how you want to be treated. And if you put yourself in the vulnerable place of them, then it's easier to do for other people, right? If you, I would want someone to come up and talk to me. I would want somebody to, do things for me. And so, or to me, or treat me a certain way. And I think that it's okay to do that, to receive it, you have to give it. And so I think that I would tell a young woman that it's okay to be that person who reaches out. It's okay. It's okay to establish relationships. I think sometimes as Black women, we have these cultural things that are set up, and we just have to be like, I would want this, right? I would want, if no one was talking to me, someone to come and sit next to me. That's what I would want, just the basics. So I would just, and not necessarily always be the person that reaches out, but think about if you were in that person's shoes, the person's by themselves. The other thing I like, right quick, that Antoinette said, I think as Black women, give compliments. When you give compliments and support a sister, what's heartbreaking is the face you get back of shock and awe instead of this is normal.
Right.
Like, it's gonna be the normal thing for me to say, girl, you got it going on. I like that. That should be normal, right? It shouldn't be like, really? So I think that don't be afraid to flower praise upon women that if we say we're queens and we say we're all this, then we gotta use it. We gotta go ahead and just be like, girl, you got it going on, right? Instead of being insecure and being critical, just give that praise. Oh, we got cut off. Or I got cut off. No,
we still see you.
Okay. I don't my screen. I was like, I went away. So,
And I was going to say, to me, I would tell young people to help each other out. A simple, if you see somebody struggling with something, you could be in class. They may not understand the math work going on at that time. Just take the time to go over and say, hey, do you need help? I can tutor you. Just extend yourself to show support and that you recognize somebody may need a little help or something. That's an easy way to support, your peers.
And I was going to say, I agree as well with Antoinette about saying those good mornings. And I know, like, sometimes I'll have everybody on my little roster, good morning, and they'll be like, oh, thank you. And then other things too, as far as checking on them, giving them that call because they may have needed it. And I know times for me, I'll be like, oh, wow, that helps. Like, yeah, good morning, you're beautiful today, thank you. So, just always, I guess, be mindful of that can help. So reaching out is a good thing and showing your support to them.
I remember when I first moved, I was born in Brooklyn, but then I left and moved to Puerto Rico for a while. I was there for 5 years and then came back. And I was this weird looking little girl. I was. And, on a new block on Flatbush, and me and my cousin, we would roller skate on Rutland Road, which was where Vinay used to live. And it was just me and my cousin, and all the other little girls were looking like, who is this? And I'll never forget, Vinay was the first one. Hi, I'm Vinay. And that's all it took. And here we are. What, 30-something plus years later, and we're still friends.
He's like, well, you moved
30,
what? 10,
I was just 1 year old.
That's why you were so friendly, right?
Right.
And I needed that. I was nervous. I was scared. It was new territory to me. And I needed that. So, yeah. Say hello, good morning, introduce yourself. It's okay to do that, extend yourself.
So, this whole vlog that we're doing, it's just to talk about sisterhood and how we can support and love each other genuinely. And sisterhood is very important. As we all said, it's something that we need that support, and, it helps us throughout our life, even from young up till adulthood. Doesn't matter how old you are. So we want to thank you guys for watching the video. Lisa, we want to say thank you so much for being part of our vlog. We appreciate you and your insight and your knowledge and your experiences. And we hope to have you on again, talk about some other topics at a later date.
Okay.
As you guys all know, we are listening. We mentor young ladies ages 13 to 22. And if anybody needs a mentor, feel free to go on our website, www.wearelistening.org, and reach out to us, and one of our mentors will get back to you. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Anybody else have anything to say?
Our mentoring is free. Everybody likes free stuff. Hit us up.
Yes. Yes.
It's free and it's e-mentoring. We don't have to set up a time to meet anywhere. Everything is done online.
Yes.
So you can be located anywhere. We can meet you.
Yes.
And
all right.
Share this vlog. That's it. Share.
Share. Yes. Okay, guys. Have a good one.
Again.
Thanks so much, Lisa.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.